Thank you all for coming. I just want to share a little bit about myself and my background before I begin my Lunch and Learn. I did have and I do have a business degree from Kent State, but I had a lot of struggle with weight loss, and at one point I weighed over 220 pounds. And I'm just telling you this because I've been through it. It is a hard process. Hopefully through my journey I can help you get healthier and happier. And so when I found out that health and wellness was really what I was passionate about, I got online and looked through and did some investigating, and I decided that I wanted to become a health and wellness coach. So I attended Integrative Nutrition in New York, and I'm certified as a health coach, and I'm also registered with the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. And I was very fortunate that Provia sees the value in making their employers healthier and happier. And as you know, we have the Inspire group, and we want to educate and motivate the employees and transform them into having healthier and happier lives. And so I'm here to help with the physical and also the emotional aspects of the sphere. And I need to help reduce the employee health risks and help you to engage in active, healthy, and happy lifestyles. And my style of health coaching is also based in a sphere, and I have 12 principles because I believe that your daily diet isn't the only thing that affects your health and wellness. It's affected also by your creativity, your finances, your career, your education, health, physical activity, home cooking, home environment, relationships, social life, joy, and spirituality. And when you set up an appointment with me, this is one of the first activities that I'll have you do. And it just helps me to pinpoint what areas in your life that you're struggling and what I can do to help you. And in turn, that's going to make you a healthier, happier person. So like we said, today's seminar, I'm going to reach out to you on the effects of excess sugar consumption. Sugar contains no nutritional value whatsoever. You do not need it. It contains no nutrients or minerals. It's just empty calories. It's very addictive, and it can affect your brain the same way that drugs and alcohol do. Sugar withdrawals are real. It produces a feel-good hormone called dopamine, and it affects your body chemistry, and it makes your body want it more. It's not uncommon when you go through sugar withdrawals that you experience headache, fatigue, mood. Detox usually takes about 3 days when you're coming off the sugar. And I usually tell people to stay away from people that you really don't like, because you really aren't going to like them that much more when you're going through those withdrawals. Studies have shown that sugar feeds cancer. Sugar molecules are present in high numbers near cancer cells, and it actually aids the growth of those malignant cells. Sugar is making us sick. Sugar suppresses your immune system, which makes you get colds, flus, illnesses more common. Like I said, it does cause mood swings because insulin is a hormone, and it's excreted into the body, and it wards off the excess sugar that we're consuming, and it affects all the other hormones, and that's why we have those mood swings and you're on that emotional roller coaster. It also affects your brain. It leads to a domino effect in our body. Studies show that people who have early onset Alzheimer's and Parkinson's also have a high sugar content in their diet. And for those of us who are worried about the crow's feet and frown lines and the breakouts, you definitely want to cut back on the sugar because it does cause wrinkles and lines. The main diseases that are affected by the excess sugar are type 2 diabetes, heart disease, your high LDL cholesterol, which is your bad cholesterol, obviously obesity, headaches and migraines, and depression. And we all know that it causes obesity, but just because when you look at a person, they're very thin, that doesn't mean that they're not having heart disease or high cholesterol, because they still could be consuming high sugar. So that's important, like when you get your biometrics back, that you look at those numbers, and you can, even though you might not be in the obesity category, you may have these other issues. your daily intake of sugar. How much sugar should you eat per day? Again, like I said before, added sugar is the single worst ingredient in our modern diet. It provides no calories, and it actually damages the way our bodies run and how our metabolism is. I'm a very visual person, so I brought some things along today. The average daily consumption for an American is 153 grams of sugar, which is also equivalent to 38¼ teaspoons of sugar. So this is what the average American consumes in one day. And for men, what you should consume is 9 teaspoons. So you can see in the comparison of what you do and what you should is very different. And then unfortunately for us women, we actually are only allowed 6 teaspoons of sugar, or what's recommended. So I'll go ahead and pass those around so you can compare. And you'd be surprised once you start learning how to figure out how much sugar you're taking in. It's something I have to work on. Even when I was preparing for this, because I haven't done this seminar in a while, I thought I really need to be more aware of what I'm consuming. So if there's one thing that I want you to learn today, it's 4 grams of sugar is equal to 1 teaspoon. So when you're looking on your nutrition label and you look under sugars, which is usually found under the carbohydrates, you want to look at the grams and you want to divide that number by 4, and that will actually give you the amount in teaspoons. Now, the FDA doesn't regulate nutrition labels very well, unfortunately. So when we're looking at products, is it really good for us? And this is just a little teeny box of the Sun-Maid raisins that my mom thought when she was packing my lunch that was a good option, and she didn't have the knowledge. But if you look at the nutrition label, and then, like I said, look under carbohydrates and sugars, there are 29 grams of sugar in that little box of raisins. So when you divide that number by 4, there's over 7 teaspoons of sugar in the little box of raisins. So that is how you need to look. So I brought some products that a lot of us consume on a daily basis, and we'd be surprised to know how much sugar. One of them is a Nutri-Grain breakfast bar. This is the #1 breakfast bar that Americans consume. And these breakfast bars actually have 3½ teaspoons of sugar in one bar. So also pudding cups, these have 12 grams of sugar, which is equal to 3 teaspoons. And these are things, like I said, that we think aren't that bad for us, but if you really get to looking and are knowledgeable, these fruit snacks, there's actually almost 4 teaspoons in a package of these fruit snacks. And just because it says fruit, we think we're doing something good for ourselves. But if you look at these, and I'll pass these around as I go, I don't understand how they can get all that sugar into those fruit snacks. It looks like there's more sugar than there is fruit snacks. So you can pass those around. One of the things that surprised me when I started investigating products was yogurt. And now I'm not saying that yogurt isn't a good choice. There are yogurts that are better than others. This used to be my go-to yogurt. This yogurt actually has over 4 teaspoons of sugar in it. So if you're a woman, you eat one of these, you're over half of what you should consume in a day. So yogurt obviously is a better choice than the M&Ms. Now M&Ms, we all know, also be aware when you're looking at the nutrition labels, make sure you're checking out the serving sizes, because we all know we don't eat a half a bag of M&Ms. You eat the whole bag. So the first thing when you look at the nutrition label is you have to multiply everything by 2. So in the bag of M&Ms, you have almost 8 teaspoons of sugar. So you can pass those around. Now, obviously, hard candy, Lifesavers. But if you think of it this way, one Lifesaver has 1 teaspoon of sugar. So every time you pop that Lifesaver or Jolly Rancher in your mouth, if you just visualize yourself actually eating a teaspoon of sugar. You wouldn't do that. Some people might, but also Gatorade protein bars. This is just one that I picked. It doesn't have to be Gatorade. Most protein bars, again, they're good for you because protein is a good nutrient. You need it. It's sustainable for energy and hunger. But because they want it to taste good, there's a lot of added sugars. In one of these Gatorade protein bars, there's actually 29 grams of sugar. So there's actually just as much sugar in one of these as there is in half a bag of M&Ms. And we as Americans think that this is a good choice. Obviously, Mountain Dew, we all know is bad for us. But in one bottle of the Mountain Dew, there's 77 grams of sugar, which is almost 20 teaspoons. So you wouldn't think about sitting and actually eating 20 teaspoons of sugar, but it's a lot easier just to down that bottle of Mountain Dew and not think twice about it. So again, it's just being more knowledgeable, being more aware. Now obviously, Gatorade is the better choice. It has 42 grams of sugar, which is still 10.5 teaspoons. So if you're a male, 9 teaspoons a day, you drink this, you've just had too much. So like a lot of high school coaches, college coaches, people in health and wellness, there are a lot of good nutrients in the Gatorade product, like electrolytes. People who work out in production, you're sweating it out. It still is a good choice. Something you might want to try is to dilute it half and half with water, half a cup of Gatorade, and then add water. The other thing that's surprising, one of the condiments that people use on a daily basis would be just your ketchup. For each teaspoon of ketchup, there's 1 teaspoon of sugar. So in this small bottle of ketchup, there's actually 33 teaspoons of sugar. Now, one of the most surprising things, and some of you may already know this, this happens to be one of my son's favorite things, is barbecue sauce. And Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce actually, in one bottle, has 84 teaspoons of sugar. So when you're looking at a bottle of barbecue sauce, there's more sugar than there is sauce and any of the other ingredients. Another trick for your food labels, when they list the ingredients, the first ingredient they list is what makes up the product the most. So obviously, when you look at a bottle under ingredients, the first thing listed is high fructose corn syrup, because really a bottle of barbecue sauce is more or less a bottle of sugar. So, and again, I wasn't hired on to be a food Nazi, so don't think I'm going to be coming through the cafeteria, and I'm here to provide a service and help you be accountable, help you be knowledgeable. We all have good days, we all have bad days. There are days that I struggle with it, and like I said, just getting ready for this, I thought, wow, I need to be more accountable for my own actions. So some of the things that you can do to limit the sugar intake, obviously stay away from the soft drinks. Fruit juices contain just as much sugar as the soft drinks, so try to stay away from those. Obviously, water is a good choice. Add lemon, orange, sugar, just to give it that flavor. Now, coffee and tea is great until you add in all the cream and the sugar. So, like I said, coffee and tea, keep it black and you're good. Candies and sweets, obviously, you want to stay away. Baked goods, they're high in refined carbohydrates. And also watch the fruits that are canned. They're usually in heavy syrup. Try to eat the real thing. And then also, when things are labeled fat-free, low-fat, just know that because they remove the fat from the food, that they had to add in lots of sugar, or otherwise you would not like the taste of it and you wouldn't buy it. So I tend to say eat the real thing. It's probably better for you in the long run than the low fat or the diet foods. Just eat those in moderation. Some of the things that you can do, these instant craving crashers, try a distraction, but when you do that, make sure it's something you enjoy. Don't say, I'm going to go clean the bathroom because I want to eat these M&Ms, because you'll end up in the bathroom cleaning and eating the M&Ms. Have a cup of tea because it will occupy your mouth and it fills your belly and gives you that satisfaction. Eat fruit, but make sure it's raw fruit. The apples, oranges, strawberries. Try to stay away from the dried fruit too, because that usually has a lot of added calories and sugar. When all else fails, some people can do this, some people can't. Eat something that really is, like set yourself aside 10 M&Ms, throw the rest in the trash, give the rest to your kids, somebody else. But really be present in the moment, savor every bite, smell it, take small bites, and make sure you get rid of the rest. And then if all else fails, this is my go-to, if I just know that I can't make it through this, go brush your teeth, because we all know nothing tastes good after you brush your teeth. So, like I said before, at the end of the day, we're all unique. It's an experiment. You have to experiment with what works for you, and hopefully through my services, I can give you ideas, things to try. But for some people, a little bit of sugar leads to a lot of sugar. So, and I'm a very motivational, inspirational person, and I believe that everything that anybody has ever accomplished, it has to start with your decision to try and to want it for yourself. So with that being said, I will be available, and the way that we're going to be doing this, it isn't set up quite yet, but we're working on it. If you go to your wellness portal, and obviously you'd be under your own name, if you go and you click on the Inspire Service button, that will come up in the next screen. It will come up with the select services, and you would choose health coaching, and there will be other services that we're going to be adding, like lunch and learns. You'll actually be able to pre-register for them, and you'll get your points and things. But once you choose health coaching, it will show all the times and the facilities where I'm at, what times I'm available. You can go right in there yourself, book your appointment. It will email you, it will email me, and then we'll both be at the same place at the same time. And it'll just be easier, there won't be confusion, and the appointments will be easier to make, and it'll make you accountable for yourself. So that's really all I have today. If anybody has any questions, I hope I didn't scare you off. Just know that I'm here to help you, and hopefully through my health and wellness journey, I can make yours a little bit easier. So thank you for coming.